Hey everyone, we're back with episode 2 of the Zurvivalist. I am Matt Jarbo. I'm here with Noah from Texas. Now, Noah, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So, all right, you're from Texas, huge state. Zombies
Corpus
come.
Christi, to be exact.
Corpus Christi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so southern part of Texas, party area, right?
Furthest most southern point.
Oh, okay.
As shit goes downhill, right? Yeah, that's where I live at.
Shit rolls down. I like that. I like that. All right, so Corpus Christi, zombies come. What do you do?
Sorry to be cliche here, but what zombies are we talking about? Any
We're
particular
talking,
zombie?
well, we're mainly talking, standard, slow moving, run of the mill zombies. Because if you go other than that, they fall into the more of the infected range. This is the standard like Romero-esque zombies.
So let's see. Basically, I mean, I've listened to your show for a while, and I kind of like it, and actually, I really like it. But a lot of your listeners got it wrong. They think they're just going to be able to somehow get inside of a vehicle and somehow make it to some, cabin somewhere or some boat somewhere, and just like they're just going to be able to get there with no problem. And the way I see it is, it's not going to happen at all. I mean, we have technology nowadays. We have, everything from our cell phones to our computers. We have fucking Twitter accounts. And the first thing that's going to happen as soon as anything like this even remotely starts to spread, everyone's going to know about it. And it's going to be mayhem. Everybody in the world is going to be jumping in their cars with their family, trying to get to their, special little place that they know about. If they've actually put some time into thinking about their zombie plan, or they could listen to the show and, they might get some ideas.
True, true.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lockdown is what's going to happen. I mean, nobody's going to be able to drive anywhere. Streets are going to be cluttered, freeways. You're not going to be able to get anywhere. Your best bet is to stick local. Basically, wait for it to either, fall out and go over with, or just, see what happens. And most likely, if it's going to be contained in quarantine, then you're not getting out. So, well, personally, I haven't really actually told anybody my actual plan as far as where I would go, because as far as I'm concerned, Z-Day is a possibility. Not the whole, Romero zombie, but I'm thinking like, biological warfare, fuck up type zombie. I live, in a place where that's highly possible. They would probably test on Corpus Christi because I don't think anybody would be able to tell the difference.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. I don't know if you've been to Corpus before, but wow. So
I've heard
anyways,
stories.
yeah. I'm thinking more local. I'm thinking like a Costco would be perfect.
But
I
what
mean, I'm
about
not
everyone
sure.
else who thinks that Costco is also a good idea?
Well, I don't know anybody personally, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, and nobody thinks that sticking locally would be fine. Everybody's thinking remote locations. Nobody thinks Costco. Nobody thinks like a restaurant. I mean, for instance, everybody's going to run to their nearest grocery store or whatever and try to stock up and grab shit, but nobody thinks that little fucking hole-in-the-wall mom-and-pop shop that everybody's going to completely fucking overlook restaurant. And then,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, well, personally, I would try to go for Costco myself. The reason for this thing, I don't know if you've ever been to a Costco or a Costmart or whatever you want to call them, wherever you're at.
No, I go to Costco
But
frequently.
yeah, okay, well, when you go out in the parking lot, what do you see as soon as you pull up? Giant fucking concrete walls. Where's the entrance door at? It's behind a freaking giant metal roll bar gate that comes down. There's no actual real entrance door. There's no windows in Costco. Do you remember seeing any sunlight come in there when you're checking out LCD TVs?
No.
No, then exactly. So it basically, not only that, but it has all your, standard things you would need to wait out a zombie, infection. You would have all of your food, canned goods, everything, pretty much it's going to last forever. Entertainment value, go bust out, a Wii or something, sit there and play video games. Yeah, and it's fully surrounded. Once you get in there and lock it up, nobody's really going to be getting in. That's a pretty good,
Well, what
area.
about like any kind of marauders or any kind of, I mean, depending on how long the infestation lasts, or the
Well, see,
lockdown.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because it's not really the zombie or I guess you can call them, the zombie people or whatever they're going to be. It's not
I don't
them
think
that
you can
would.
racially offend a zombie.
Well, I was trying to more classify them as an actual, subspecies, I guess. They wouldn't actually be the biggest issue. They wouldn't be the biggest problem. Other people would be the biggest problem. They would be the ones that would be more apt to have actual more of a thought process to be, keen enough to try to take other people out and for their own survival. And that would be the biggest issue. Well, okay, well, here's another issue. Everybody's always talking about weaponry.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about, I'd use a shotgun or I'd use a sword. And, well, if we're talking zombie infection, if a zombie is close enough to me to where I'm actually going to be able to use a sword or a knife or any type of, stabbing weapon, that's too close already. And that means basically you're not keeping yourself out of the way. It needs to be more of a stealth operation. I'm not going to pull out a fucking shotgun in the middle of a goddamn mall when there's one zombie and blow his goddamn head off. You know why? Because it's going to make a huge ba-boom, and after that, all the rest of the zombies are going to know exactly where the fuck I'm at.
So you're going to use a lot of silent weapons like knives and axes and stuff.
Well, what do they say in most zombie movies, and what I believe personally? If you want to, kill a zombie, or, what do?
Cut off its head.
Or you
shoot it in the head?
Destroy the brain, yeah. So you don't need a large caliber weapon to do such a thing.
Well, I think we as an American society, we really like the show aspect of it. It's probably why people use shotguns.
Yeah, I would personally prefer a small, lightweight weapon, silenced, preferably. A 22 would be perfect. I mean, it's a small caliber weapon. It's highly accurate, and it's very light. I mean, you can carry freaking thousands of rounds on you before you could carry out of shotgun shells. And inside of your backpack, extremely light, extremely easy to load, and large magazine clips, and silence, which means I could take out 10, 20 frickin' zombies that are coming directly at me with 2 guns, and nobody would hear a fucking thing.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a pretty good plan for that aspect. Now let's kick it up a notch. Let's say you're at Costco. You go through all that. Eventually, the food supplies are going to run out. I mean, granted, a long period of time, but still, eventually you're going to have to go seek. The power's going to go out. The plumbing's going to go dead. You're going to have to start seeking elsewhere. What would happen? Where would you go? I mean, if you lost Costco, where would you go from there?
If Costco were to be infiltrated.
Because I mean, it's a good plan. I'll give you that, but it's not foolproof. It's not a long lasting plan.
My idea was basically if there was going to be such a zombie infestation, if you're talking about world domination by zombies, then no, Costco. It would all matter exactly what was going on. I mean, if you lived in a place like, say, I don't know, San Diego, California, right, and zombies would take over there, I mean, it would immediately be fucking shut down and quarantined. Nobody would be going anywhere, getting in or getting out. Especially, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Coronado, California. It's a small little peninsula island. Nobody would be going anywhere.
No, I do know Coronado. I do know Coronado.
Yeah. But if you're talking long-term on that factor, then that's not going to be long-term. That's going to be very short-term. Everybody will be either, taken out in camps, or they would just freaking destroy the entire place.
But eventually, you're still going to need to leave and go somewhere else. I'm asking where you have this good plan up until to get there, but it seems... what would you do then?
Well, for long term, as far as, say, the zombie infection continues and Costco is so taken over, and it's been, I don't know, let's see, how long did that take? About 4 good months inside of Costco. After that, my plan would basically be to head to Abilene, Texas.
Abilene?
Yes.
What's in Abilene?
Well, the way I see it is, if you're going to go somewhere where you don't want the people to be intelligent enough to be able to, I guess you could say, think more than you, or be able to take you over, or I guess like Costco, be able to outrun, into Costco and take everybody out, you would want to go somewhere where the intelligence level is very, very low. And in Abilene, Texas, the best thing to come out of Abilene was Jessica Simpson, and I think they kicked her out. She was too smart for them, if you get my drift.
Wow.
You would go there, and you would basically be the king of, if you were intelligent, the king of Abilene, Texas, and everybody would follow you for what you were doing.
All right, so you go to Abilene, but we're running out of time, so I just got to ask the last question. What would you do if you were bit?
I was bit. I guess you have to plan that shit out.
Because if you're bit, would you just walk off somewhere and kill yourself? Would you want to see what it's like on the other side?
Personally, what I would do, I would have everybody lock me up. I'm talking like securely lock me up, and then be able to experiment. Because, if you have a person that you know is going to turn into a zombie and you have the ability to restrain him first, if you were going to think about long-term survival, you would want something to test on. See exactly what, they react to, if they're going to be, chasing certain objects, if it's a smell factor, a sound factor, a sight factor.
So you would open yourself up for biological testing?
Definitely.
Okay. Well, that sounds like actually, that's probably the most unique answer I've heard so far, which is awesome. I love those. But that is all the time we do have for this week. Noah, thank you for being on the show.
Not a problem.
And remember, for all you guys at home, if you want to pay attention to get more Zurvivalist episodes, head over to facebook.com/KZOM Radio. And this show is brought to you by Monsters vs. Monsters, a new card game that is a low-cost alternative to high-cost entertainment. I'm Matt Jarbo, and I'll see you guys next week on The Zurvivalist.